We just got another intel drop for Modern Warfare 3 talking about Gunsmith and more specifically the aftermarket parts which are coming to the game for the first time. And I want to run you through the blog and give you a breakdown of what to expect from this new aftermarket parts system coming to the game. They also dropped a whole video here, so if this is something you want to watch, it's a minute 24 seconds. You can head on over to their YouTube channel to watch it. It's the video version of this blog. But of course, the blog goes into a little more detail. And the first thing here, and this kind of is the best way to sort of sum this up, is that you are supposed to think of these as remixes for the guns. It's a way for players to come back to a weapon they may have already mastered or played with and give them an entirely new dimension to interact with the gun in a way that regular attachments can't. So essentially, this is completely changing up a weapon that you have already used and mastered. And these aftermarket parts are basically being called conversion kits. In game, a conversion kit is what you're going to use to change your weapon. But in order to actually get these aftermarket parts, these conversion kits, you have to get the weapon to max level and then complete an in-game challenge that will become available once that weapon is max level. And this is only going to work on select weapons or weapons that this is supported on. So they're probably going to add these in throughout the game lifecycle, but they're not going to be on every single weapon, at least not at the start. We also get another image here, or an image to kind of look at the Gunsmith, which I think is really, really cool. I'm trying to pull this up into a bigger version, but we can just zoom in here. So you can see showing detailed stats is now back in the game. Let me slide you over. Sorry about that. You can show detailed stats, so you can now see this kind of like we had in Cold War. You can also see, I mean, this looks very similar, but overall looks like a little bit more refined, different font style and stuff like that. So not too different for the Gunsmith, but just a little bit different. And it also says here that you might unlock, or you might be able to use attachments when trying to use a conversion kit that you may not have previously been able to. So the aftermarket parts may make other attachments that you couldn't become available for that base weapon. So this is basically, as they're saying, the weapon is fundamentally changed. So the ways that you can modify it are also going to be changed. Then they do give some examples. They give 3 examples of aftermarket parts conversion kits that they have already been put into the game. So this is number 1. Loadout 1 is the Pulmia LMG. I'm not exactly sure how to say that, but you can see here it is your classic LMG, and you can actually turn this into a bullpup, kind of more faster running gun style LMG. And the max challenge, or the challenge at the max level, is to get 25 kills while hip firing or using tac stance. So essentially, you use your hip fires, right? Because that's what you do with an SMG, but of course you're using the LMG in this case, and that will unlock this kit, which will be able to basically turn your LMG into an SMG, which is completely different from how the base gun is going to work. And then essentially the reason you'd want to do this is you're basically taking an LMG which has a deep ammo reserve and allowing you to be able to run and gun with it. So you're going to be able to have, let's say, 150 bullets on an SMG style weapon, compared to if you put like a drum mag on a normal SMG, maybe you have 50 or 60 bullets. So that's kind of where the difference comes in. And then it shows here, add some aftermarket parts in the form of recoil pads fitted to the stock for more accuracy, or a bullpup barrel for improved bullet velocity and damage range. Looking at loadout number 2, we have the Renetti handgun, and then unlocking at max level, the challenge is going to be to get 30 kills with 5 attachments. So that is very, very simple. And you'll be able to turn it into the Jack Ferocity SMG carbine. So you'll be able to convert this burst fire Renetti into a full auto handgun reminiscent of an SMG. Obviously, you know, we kind of saw we've seen full auto like handguns in the past, but this is going to be reminiscent of an SMG. So it's not, I guess, exactly one, but it's going to be similar. And this will gain increased bullet velocity, range, and rate of fire at the cost of some mobility and recoil control. So kind of basically just turning into an SMG like we've been saying. And then it also says the conversion supports tactical stance, which is the new sort of stance in between, you know, like hip firing and completely ADSing, which you won't be able to do with the base model of the Renetti, but you will be able to do with this SMG sort of version. And then the third one that they are showing here is the WSP Swarm Width. Is that supposed to say Swarm Width, or is that supposed to say Swarm space Width? I don't know, but with the Kimbo brace stocks, I think it's supposed to just be the WSP Swarm. And then the challenge at max level is going to be unlock via weekly challenges in preseason. So like I said, some of these are going to have actual weekly challenges that you need to complete these, which is interesting. Hopefully this isn't the type of challenge that, like, let's say you just don't play this week, it's like, okay, you're done, you'll never be able to unlock this. Hopefully this is something that repeats throughout the life cycle of the game, giving people who start playing at different times a chance to actually complete this. But you can see here, I mean, that's a pretty crazy looking first person view of these two guns. And then as well, the new Gunsmith is going to be bringing additional innovations to the overall weapon system. This includes more shared attachments and the removal of certain penalties when equipping small optics. This is actually really, really big. They go into this right here. When you put on a 1x attachment, or you put on a 1x optic in Modern Warfare 2, you get reduced aim down sight speed. But in Modern Warfare 3, that is no longer going to be the case. So if you just don't like the iron sights of a gun and you want to put a 1x on it, you'll be able to do that and it will not negatively affect your weapon, or your ADS speed, things like that, which is super, super nice because there's some guns that you might just not vibe with their iron sight, and now you'll be able to use a sight, use an optic that will, you know, make you like that gun a little bit more and also won't hurt you. And then also here on the topic of attachment unlocks, for MW3 weapons, for new MW3 weapons, that is, right? So this is not MW2 weapons, this is MW3. Attachments such as grips, barrels, magazines, and stocks will no longer require players to use a specific weapon after they've been unlocked for another one. And then it gives an example here. The assault stock attachment is available for the AMR9 SMG at level 8 and the Riveter shotgun at level 12. If your AMR9 is already at level 8, the stock will already be unlocked for your Riveter shotgun and vice versa. So this is pretty cool, right? You're not gonna have to like wait till you get your shotgun to level 12 to use a stock you already unlocked on an SMG. Pretty cool, just making it a little bit simpler, a little bit less grindy to get certain things. But that's going to do it for the blog post. Let me know what you guys think about this whole aftermarket parts thing. For one, I think it's cool. It just adds something a little different, right? I'm never going to complain about them adding content into the game. If it's content I don't want to do or I don't like, that's fine. I just won't do it. But other people are going to enjoy this. I also might. I'm not saying I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm just giving it as an example. I do think this is really cool. We'll see how it actually plays out in game. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm never going to complain about them adding more for you to do in the video game. That's exactly why we play games. We play them because we want to do things. We don't want to complete the game and then that's just it. We just have to wait months until we can do something else. So the more content, the better. I think this looks really cool. Definitely watch this video if you're interested in kind of seeing more about how this works. I think it was a pretty well done video, kind of going through what we talked about in this blog post. But make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Modern Warfare 3 content, news, gameplay as we get closer to COD Next on Thursday. I'm going to probably stream the event here on YouTube, so make sure you're looking out for that, and I will see you all in the next video.